Listen, you've been waiting on that call. You've been checking your phone, refreshing your messages, hoping for that little notification to pop up. But let me tell you something. He's not going to call because you're waiting. He's going to call when you shift your energy. See, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop begging, the moment you stop worrying about when he's going to reach out, suddenly he feels it. Your silence, your strength, your power, it speaks louder than any text you could ever send. Stop over-explaining. Stop double texting. Stop pouring your worth into someone else's attention. Because the second you show him that you're not desperate for his validation, that's the second his mind wakes up. That's when curiosity kicks in. That's when the, why isn't she chasing me anymore? Thought starts eating at him. And let me tell you this, a man values what he has to pursue. If he doesn't feel the risk of losing you, he will never value having you. So stop giving him your whole world when he hasn't even earned a corner of it. Let your silence work for you. Let your peace be your answer. And watch how fast that phone lights up with his name on it. Because the truth is, when you detach, when you hold your standard, when you remind him that you are the prize, he will call, he will text, and he will chase. But the question is, will you still be available when he finally does? You ever notice how loud silence can be? How sometimes saying nothing at all carries more weight than 1,000 words? See, the problem with most people is they don't know how to sit in silence. They panic. They rush to fill the empty space with words, texts, explanations, hoping that maybe if they just say the right thing at the right time, in the right way, they'll get the reaction they want. But that desperation doesn't attract respect, it repels it. Let me tell you something, real silence is not weakness. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is strategy. It's discipline. It's self-respect wrapped in patience. When you stop responding to every little thing, when you stop trying to prove your point, when you stop chasing after answers that you already know deep down inside, you create space. And that space, that's where people begin to feel your absence. That's where the shift happens. See, silence makes a person uncomfortable, especially if they're used to you always being available, always explaining yourself, always filling in the gaps. The second you pull back, the second you choose not to respond right away, it forces them to sit with themselves. It forces them to hear the echo of their own actions. And believe me, people don't forget that silence. They may ignore your words, they may dismiss your explanations, but they never forget when you go quiet. Because silence demands attention. It creates tension. It makes them wonder, why isn't she responding? Why isn't she chasing me? Why isn't she fighting like she used to? That curiosity, that doubt, that little voice whispering in their head, it eats at them. And before you know it, they're the ones reaching for the phone. They're the ones replaying the moments. They're the ones trying to figure out how they lost control of the dynamic. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you use silence as a game or as a trick to manipulate. No, what I'm telling you is silence is about stepping back into your own power. It's about reminding yourself that your worth doesn't come from how many texts you send or how much attention you give or how many times you chase after someone to make them see your value. Your worth is already established. Your value is already there. And silence gives you the space to stand firm in that truth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Not react, not explain, not defend yourself. Just breathe, just live. Just let your peace do the talking. Because here's the thing, when someone is used to your energy, used to your presence, used to your constant availability, and suddenly it's gone, that absence is louder than any argument you could ever make. And let me tell you this, if someone really cares, if they truly see your value, your silence won't push them away, it'll pull them closer, it'll wake them up. It'll remind them that your time, your attention, your presence, it's not guaranteed. It's earned. And if they want it, they better come correct. But here's the catch, silence only works when you mean it. When it's not just about waiting for a reaction, but about truly choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation, self-respect over attention. Because if you're sitting in silence but still restless inside, still waiting, still watching the clock, still obsessing over when they're going to call, you've missed the point. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of strength. It's the confidence to know that no matter what they do, you'll be all right. So let them wonder. Let them sit with it. Let them hear the sound of your silence ringing louder than any words you could ever speak. And while they're over there debating whether or not to call, you're over here building, growing, healing, living. That's when the tables turn. That's when the phone starts lighting up. That's when they realize they don't control you anymore. Because silence is powerful. And the moment you learn to master it, you'll never chase anyone again. So here's the question I want you to sit with tonight. Are you strong enough to let your silence speak for you? You see, too many people make the mistake of chasing. Chasing after someone who's already shown you where you stand. Chasing after someone who only gives you breadcrumbs of attention. Chasing after someone who knows you'll keep running after them no matter how little effort they put in. And here's the truth. You don't win respect by chasing. You don't build value by lowering yourself just to get noticed. Every step you take chasing after someone who isn't chasing you back, you teach them that your love, your time, your energy, it doesn't cost much. Let me break it down for you. Human nature is wired this way. We value what we earn, not what we're handed for free. If you give yourself away without any boundaries, if you're always the one texting first, calling first, checking in, trying to fix what they broke, then what's left for them to value? Nothing. They didn't have to work for you. They didn't have to invest. They didn't have to sacrifice. And if something doesn't cost, it doesn't carry weight. Think about it. The shoes you worked 3 months to save for, the car you hustled overtime to buy, the business you built from the ground up, those things mean something to you. You protect them, you honor them. But the things handed to you without effort, you don't care if they're lost, broken, or forgotten. The same principle applies to relationships. If you're out here doing all the chasing, you've just made yourself a free gift, and free gifts are easily discarded. Now, I know what you're thinking. But if I don't chase, won't they forget me? Won't they move on? Listen carefully. If someone forgets you simply because you stopped running after them, they were never yours to begin with. If someone moves on the moment you hold back, you just got the answer you were too afraid to face. That's not loss, that's clarity. And clarity is a gift. You need to understand the difference between effort and pursuit. Effort means both people are showing up, both people are building, both people are giving. But pursuit, that's one-sided, that's draining. That's you running while they stand still, arms folded, watching how far you're willing to go to prove yourself. That's not love. That's not respect. That's imbalance. And when you chase, you're not just lowering your value in their eyes, you're lowering your value in your own. Every time you ignore your boundaries just to keep someone around, you teach yourself that your standards don't matter. Every time you run after someone who's walking away, you're silently telling yourself that being chosen by them is more important than choosing yourself. And nothing will destroy your spirit faster than believing you have to earn the attention of someone who doesn't even deserve your presence. But here's the shift. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your power. You flip the dynamic. You show them that if they want access to you, they've got to come forward. They've got to call. They've got to text. They've got to show effort. Because chasing is a choice. And when you stop choosing it, you give them only two options: step up or step out. And both of those outcomes benefit you. If they step up, you get reciprocity. If they step out, you clear the space for someone better. That's the part most people miss. They're so afraid of losing someone that they forget what's really being lost: themselves. You're not losing anything by refusing to chase. You're gaining your dignity. You're gaining your strength. You're gaining your peace, and peace is priceless. So the next time you feel that urge to run after someone, stop and ask yourself, why am I chasing what's walking away? Why am I fighting to prove my worth to someone who should already see it? Why am I pouring into someone who can't even meet me halfway? Because if the answer is fear of being alone, then you need to face that fear head on. Being alone for a season is better than being drained for a lifetime. When you learn to stop chasing, everything changes. You attract differently. You move differently. You carry yourself with a confidence that says, if you want me, come correct. If not, keep moving. And trust me, the moment you stand still in your worth, the ones who truly see your value will come running. There's something powerful about detachment. See, most people think that holding on tight is what keeps someone close. They think that the more you pour, the more you give, the more you prove your loyalty, the more someone will stay. But that's not how human nature works. The truth is, the tighter you grip, the faster they slip through your fingers. The moment you detach, the moment you stop pressing, the moment you step back, that's when the shift begins. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you shut down your heart. It doesn't mean you become cold or bitter. No, it means you stop obsessing over what you can't control. It means you stop tying your worth to whether or not they text you, call you, or choose you. It means you place the focus back on yourself, your growth, your peace, your future, and you stop handing over the keys of your emotions to someone else. That kind of power is magnetic. Because here's what happens when you detach: curiosity kicks in. When someone is used to your constant energy, your constant availability, your constant reassurance, and suddenly it's not there, it rattles them. They start asking questions. They start wondering, why isn't she chasing me? Why isn't she checking in? Did she find someone else? Did she finally move on? That curiosity begins to grow into anxiety, and that anxiety turns into pursuit. See, when you detach, you create a vacuum, and human beings hate vacuums. We crave certainty, we crave predictability, we crave to know where we stand. When you detach, you strip them of that certainty. You take away the guarantee that you'll always be there no matter how little effort they put in. And suddenly, they realize they can't read you like they used to. That unpredictability makes them restless. It makes them call. It makes them text. It makes them show up. But here's the beauty of detachment. It doesn't just change them. It changes you. Because the moment you detach, you stop living on edge, waiting for that phone to light up. You stop waking up with anxiety about whether they'll finally give you the attention you've been begging for. You stop negotiating your worth in exchange for their inconsistency. You start to breathe again. You start to live again. You start to see that the world doesn't begin and end with their validation. And when you reach that point, you move differently. Your energy feels different. You're not chasing, you're not clinging, you're not begging. You're simply standing still in your own value. And let me tell you, there's nothing more attractive than someone who doesn't need you but chooses you. That's what detachment gives you, the ability to show up without desperation, to give without fear, to love without losing yourself. Now, I'm not saying detachment is easy, it takes discipline. It takes strength to pull your energy back when you're used to giving it all away. It takes self-control to not respond right away, to not check their social media, to not overthink the silence. But every time you resist that urge, every time you keep your focus on yourself instead of on them, you get stronger. And the stronger you get, the less power they have over you. Detachment creates curiosity, yes, but more importantly, it creates respect. Because when someone sees that you're not afraid to walk away, that you're not afraid to be silent, that you're not afraid to choose yourself, they look at you differently. They realize you're not a game, you're not a fallback plan. You're not someone they can string along. You're the prize, and the prize doesn't chase. So let them wonder. Let them feel that shift. Let them experience what life feels like without your constant presence. That's when they'll start to understand what they risked losing. That's when they'll start showing up. That's when they'll start chasing the very thing they once took for granted. And here's the part you need to hold on to. Even if they never come back, detachment guarantees that you still win, because you've built your peace, you've built your confidence. You've built a life that doesn't crumble when someone else walks away. And when you have that, you'll never again settle for begging, chasing, or proving your worth to anyone. So remember this, the greatest power you can hold in any relationship is the power to detach. Because detachment doesn't push people away, it pulls the right ones closer. Too many people spend their lives begging for validation, begging for someone to see them, to notice them, to say the words they've been dying to hear. I love you. I need you. I choose you. But here's the hard truth, you should never have to beg for what should come freely. If someone truly values you, their actions will prove it. Their presence will prove it. Their consistency will prove it. You won't need to pull it out of them, you won't need to chase it down, and you won't need to beg. When you beg for validation, you're teaching someone that your worth depends on their approval. And the moment they sense that, the moment they realize you need their recognition to feel whole, they've got the power. They know you'll tolerate disrespect because you're afraid of silence. They know you'll accept inconsistency because you're addicted to scraps of attention. They know they don't have to step up because you've already lowered yourself. That's how people get comfortable giving you the bare minimum, because you showed them you'll accept it. But let me tell you something, validation that you have to beg for will never satisfy you. You'll get the words, but not the actions. You'll get the text, but not the effort. You'll get temporary comfort, but not lasting security. And you'll keep coming back hungry for more, because you tied your value to someone who doesn't even know how to handle it. That cycle, it will drain you. It will hollow you out. It will make you forget that you were whole long before they ever showed up. You don't need someone to tell you who you are. You don't need someone to validate your beauty, your strength, your intelligence, your spirit. You already know. And if you don't, that's where the work begins, not in begging them to see you, but in opening your own eyes to the truth. Because once you see yourself clearly, once you recognize your worth without needing them to confirm it, you'll stop settling for crumbs. You'll stop asking questions like, do you love me? Do you want me? Do I matter? And instead, you'll start asking yourself, do they deserve me? There's a freedom in that shift. When you stop begging, you start choosing peace over drama, self-respect over desperation, clarity over confusion. You start walking away from anything that makes you feel less than, because you finally understand that love should build you up, not break you down. That's what real validation looks like. It's not begged for, it's offered. It's consistent, it's rooted in actions that match words. And here's the truth you need to hold on to, begging never changes someone's heart. You can plead, you can cry, you can pour everything out until you're empty. But if they don't want to show up, they won't. Begging doesn't inspire love. Begging doesn't inspire respect. Begging only confirms that you're willing to settle. And the moment you settle, you lose yourself. But the moment you stop begging, you gain everything. Because when you stand in your worth, when you decide that you will never again plead for what you deserve, you shift the balance. You force people to either step up or step aside. And believe me, the ones who truly care will rise to the occasion. They'll call, they'll text, they'll show you through consistency that they're invested. You won't have to beg, it will flow naturally, because that's how love is supposed to be. And if they don't, if they walk away, let them. Because losing someone who needs you to beg is not a loss. It's a blessing, it's a release. It's life-clearing space for something better, someone who won't make you question your value every single day. So stop begging. Stop lowering yourself. Stop handing out discounts on your love, your time, your energy. Start walking like you know who you are. Start standing like you know what you bring to the table. Because when you do that, you'll stop attracting people who want to drain you, and you'll start attracting people who are ready to pour into you. The problem with too many people is that they put everyone else on a pedestal and forget to honor themselves. They give their best energy to someone who gives them the bare minimum. They pour out all their love, all their time, all their patience, hoping it'll be enough to make somebody stay. But here's the truth. If you don't value yourself first, nobody else will. People treat you the way you show them to treat you. If you set the standard low, they'll meet you there. If you raise it high, they'll either rise to meet it or fall away. Either way, you win. Valuing yourself doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean walking around with pride that pushes people away. No, it means knowing your worth so clearly that you don't settle for less than you deserve. It means refusing to beg, refusing to chase, refusing to let anyone talk you out of what you already know you bring to the table. It means being able to say, I don't need you to complete me. I was whole before you, and I'll be whole without you. That's power. That's value. When you value yourself first, everything about you shifts. Your energy shifts. Your presence shifts. People can feel it. They can sense that you're not desperate, that you're not dependent on them to define you. That's when they start to see you as rare, as something they don't want to lose. But when you undervalue yourself, when you accept crumbs, when you keep showing up for someone who doesn't show up for you, they see you as replaceable. And no matter how much you beg or chase, you'll never convince someone to value what you don't even value yourself. Think about it this way. If you walked into a store and saw a diamond priced like cheap glass, what would you assume? You'd assume it wasn't real. You'd assume it wasn't valuable. Because the price you place on yourself teaches others how to see you. If you treat yourself like you're ordinary, they'll treat you like you're ordinary. But if you hold yourself like the diamond you are, rare, unshakable, unbreakable, then they'll either pay the cost of admission to stay in your life, or they'll walk out. And if they walk, let them. Because anyone who can't afford your value was never meant to hold it. Here's the challenge. Valuing yourself first means saying no when your heart wants to say yes. It means walking away from someone you love because they can't love you right. It means standing firm in your boundaries even when it hurts. And yes, it will hurt. But temporary pain is better than a lifetime of being disrespected. You've got to be willing to lose people to not lose yourself. That's the price of self-value. And once you pay it, you'll never go back. When you start to value yourself, you stop competing for attention. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop feeling the need to prove why you deserve to be chosen. Because you already know you're the prize. And the prize doesn't audition. The prize doesn't beg. The prize doesn't run after anyone. The prize sits in its value, and those who are worthy will step up and claim it. But here's the secret. When you truly value yourself, you don't just attract better relationships, you attract a better life. Opportunities open up, doors swing wide. People treat you differently because they see you treat yourself differently. Respect flows to the places where respect is demanded. And the best part, you stop fearing loss, you stop fearing rejection. Because you know that what leaves was never meant to stay, and what's meant for you won't have to be forced. So ask yourself right now, how much do I really value myself? Am I living like I'm priceless, or am I acting like I'm disposable? Because the way you see yourself sets the tone for everything else in your life. Value yourself first, because when you do, you'll never again settle for being an option when you were always meant to be the only choice. See, here's where it all comes together. You've been sitting there thinking that you're the one at risk, that you're the one who might lose him, that you're the one who has to fight harder, text faster, call more, give more, just so he doesn't slip away. But that's the wrong mindset. That's the script you've been handed, and it's time to flip it. He's not the prize you risk losing, you are. The real loss would be him waking up one day and realizing that the access he once had to you is gone. When you walk like you're the prize, when you move like you know your worth, the whole game changes. Suddenly, it's not you sitting in fear, wondering if he'll leave. It's him sitting in fear, wondering if you'll stay. And that's the position you need to hold. Not out of arrogance, but out of truth. Because the truth is, if you're giving loyalty, love, patience, and consistency, then you're the one bringing the value. And if he can't recognize that, if he doesn't respect that, then he's the one who stands to lose everything. Flipping the script isn't about playing games. It's about shifting perspective. It's about no longer walking into every situation thinking you've got something to prove. It's about realizing that anyone who takes your presence for granted is gambling with something they can't afford to lose. Because your energy is rare. Your love is rare. Your loyalty is rare. And rare things aren't cheap. Rare things aren't replaceable. Rare things don't chase. Rare things are chosen. When you flip the script, you stop asking, what if he leaves me? And you start asking, what if I leave him? You stop thinking, what if I'm not enough for him? And you start thinking, what if he's not enough for me? That shift in mindset is everything. It's the difference between begging and choosing, between chasing and attracting, between being controlled and being in control. And here's the thing, when you start living like this, he feels it, he notices it. He notices the calm in your silence. He notices the strength in your detachment. He notices that you're no longer scrambling to prove yourself. And suddenly, he feels the pressure. He feels the risk. He starts thinking, what if she really moves on? What if she really finds someone better? What if she finally sees that she doesn't need me? That's when the tables turn. That's when the fear shifts. That's when the chase begins. Because nothing wakes a man up faster than the possibility of losing what he thought he'd never lose. Nothing rattles his ego more than realizing that the person he took for granted has the strength to walk away. And when you've done the work, when you've stopped chasing, stopped begging, stopped undervaluing yourself, when you've put yourself first, detachment is no longer just a tool, it's a lifestyle. You're no longer afraid of what happens if he leaves, because you know you'll be fine. And when you know you'll be fine, that's when he realizes he might not be. But let me be clear, you don't flip the script just to make him chase you. You flip the script because it's the truth. Because you finally understand that the real risk isn't yours, it's his. And once you live in that truth, everything about you speaks differently. Your words, your presence, your silence, it all communicates one thing: I am the prize. So stop living like you're on the edge of loss. Stop shrinking yourself to fit his standards. Stop giving away your crown and then wondering why he doesn't treat you like royalty. Flip the script. Make him see that the access to you is limited, that the seat at your table is valuable, that your love is earned, not owed. Because once he sees that, once he feels that, once he knows that he could lose you, he'll move differently. He'll call, he'll text, he'll show up. Got it. Here's a powerful closing ending that ties together all 6 expanded points in the same commanding tone, giving the speech a strong finish that leaves the listener with clarity and conviction. So now you've heard it. Silence is power. Stop chasing. Detachment creates curiosity. Don't beg for validation. Value yourself first. Flip the script and make them realize the risk isn't yours, it's theirs. Each one of these truths is a step toward reclaiming your strength, toward taking your power back, toward finally standing in the worth you've had all along. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about him. It's not about a call, it's not about a text, it's not about whether he stays or whether he goes. It's about you. It's about what you decide you deserve. It's about how you carry yourself, how you protect your peace, how you honor your value. That's what sets the tone, that's what flips the dynamic. That's what makes the phone light up, not because you begged, not because you chased, but because you finally chose yourself. So the next time you're tempted to lower your standards just to keep somebody, remember this: you are the prize. You are the value. You are the one they risk losing. And once you live in that truth, you'll never have to wonder again whether they'll call or text. The real question will be, will you even answer?